All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Ephraim. Today's date is December 23rd, 2022. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, that means you were blessed to see another day. And for that, all praise, honor, and glory is due to the Most High God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for now and forever. All right, everybody, welcome. Welcome to all my new subscribers and older alike. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, select the notification bell, and hit all so that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new presentation. I want to continue to thank you all for your support. Please continue to comment on the videos and like the videos so we can keep the viewership up. We got a lot of new subscribers, man. The needle should really be moving. But I want to thank everyone for taking part and being active, and I try my best to be as active and engage all of you as well. So thank you for that. We're on the eve of another Shabbat, and what I wanted to bring forth on today is and this may not be such a shock to a lot of you, but Shaka Zulu, there was a movie done about him. He was, he's a very known or famous African quote unquote warrior from the Zulu kingdom, the Zulu tribe, whatever the case may be. But what many of you probably don't know is that the Zulu kingdom, Shaka Zulu included, are Hebrew Israelites. Here's the thing, man. I think as far as the brothers here in America, a lot of the Hebrew camps, they teach and they believe that Judah is just in America, and that's just not true and not accurate, man. Um, yes, a lot of Judah is here and came here via the transatlantic slave trade. However, we know that Ephraim is here as well because we know by our bloodlines. Okay, that's how we know which the different tribes are here. Now, um, when the Most High said He was going to scatter the children of Israel to all corners of the world and to every nation, whatever the case may be, that's exactly what He did. He didn't say which percentage was going to go where and how much percentage of this tribe was going to be here. He didn't say that. He was the fact that we were going to be scattered was just that. But in terms of the percentage of this, I can't even say it was ambiguous because he never addressed that. So I'm saying that to say that um, with that being said, they're literally we focus so much on Judah and even Ephraim, right? But we forget about Benjamin. We forget about like there are nine other tribes, right? We never talk about Naphtali or you know what I'm saying, like any of those other kind of tribes that are just never talked about. And I'm saying that to say that all those tribes are scattered as well. We can't just discount them. It's not about just Judah and Ephraim. Don't get me wrong. The focus is kind of Judah and Ephraim because that's kind of where that's the whole focus of everything, the focal point, right? But we can't forget the northern kingdom. There's 10 tribes, right? And the southern only two. That's Judah and Benjamin, and some of Levi. So we know that those three tribes were kind of mixed in together. So to think that they would be wind up in the same place or kind of being enslaved the same. I mean, yeah. I mean that's just the other day a brother came through, the Puerto Rican brother, and he said come to find out his mother was Hebrew Israelite, and he said his YDNA haplotype was E1B1B. And so come to find out his father was a Hamite. So, he is not a seed of Jacob. And I told him, I said, what that tells us is that, during that wave of slaves that were dropped off in Puerto Rico, clearly your forefather, got caught up and with the Israelites, but he was a Hamite that got caught up. And that's just it. We were mixed in with all these different African nations. I mean, I'm sure that happened more often than not, where, there were some Hamites that got caught up in the wave of the transatlantic slave trade just by virtue of them being mixed in with us, us being mixed in with them rather, and just kind of a couple of them are being swept up in the little mix or whatever, during the transatlantic. So he didn't really say nothing after that. He didn't come back, but I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it is what it is. His forefather was a Hamite. Straight up, he was a medic. So, and I say that to say that there was this missionary. I tried to find the story, but I couldn't find it. And this missionary was over there with the Zulus, And like I said, no missionaries, went over to Africa to teach them anything about, being an Israelite or the law, statutes, and commandments of the children of Israel, nothing like that. The missionaries went over there with one sole goal, and that's to teach Christianity to quote unquote the natives, right? So lo and behold, this missionary was over there, and I was trying to find the article, man, and I may still, if I find it later, I'll post it. But this missionary was over there, and they were in some type of tribal. Um, uh, Event or something. I don't know, but either way, they all of a sudden started chanting in unison, "Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah." And the missionary was so taken aback. He was like, "Yo, where did y'all get that from?" Right? And so to me, I was like, Man, listen, man, that's their Israelite spirit crying out, man. Like that's who they are. And even if they didn't know where hallelujah came from or whatever, that's telling us that's their spirits crying out to who they are. They are Israelites. So anyway, that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into Shaka Zulu, in the Zulu nation, and the fact that they're actually Hebrew Israelites. In my personal opinion, I believe them to be Judah. There's something about them just says it screams Judah to me. Now I don't know if that's right or whatever, but I just think that the Zulus are definitely, they got that Judah spirit, especially Shaka, no doubt. So anyway, let's get it. Shaka Zulu and the Zulu Nation, Hebrew Israelites. So now to the newer members of the channel and the subscribers, just keep a rule of thumb to keep in mind with the Israelite, the scattering of the Israelites, right? Um, it was discovered and uncovered by me by grace and mercy of the Most High that so-called Bantu expansion that a lot of our DNA tests will mention was actually a Hebrew Israelite expansion. When the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary said that Ham became the progenitor of those black races in Africa, but not the Negroes, I uncovered and discovered that the Negroes were the Bantus. Okay, so all Bantus are Negroes. All Negroes are Israelites. All Israelites are E1B, 1A. All Hamites are E1B, 1B. That one letter, the A and the B, represents two separate bloodlines. Okay, don't let anyone try to confuse you or try to tell you anything different or otherwise. That's all they're gonna try to do is try to confuse you. E1B1A means we are Shemitic, we are Negroes, we are the Israelites. E1B1B, that's Hamitic. All right. So anyway, I'm not really dealing with that, but I just kind of wanted to let y'all know as a rule of thumb. Anytime you see anything having to do with the Bantu migration or the Bantu expansion, you can automatically attach that to our people, Israelites. All right. All right. So a little history on the Zulus. Now, I'm not really sure if they had the Zulu nation already established, and we kind of, add mixed in with them with, whatever the case may be. But like I said, I personally believe we're mixed into every nation on earth. That's every nation in Africa as well. Like, I mean, I believe there's a percentage of us that's in Ethiopia. I mean, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe he said he was going to scatter us among all people. To me, that means every single nation on this earth. So there it is there. So I'm not really sure if the Zulus if we're mixed into them, but I'm going to bring forth some DNA data that kind of implies that we're mixed in with some Hamitic Zulus. So anyway, let me go ahead. Let's go into the history a little bit here. Since the Zulu nation's growth, wait a minute, I'm sorry. The Zulu were originally a major clan in what is today northern KwaZulu Natal, founded around 1574 by Zulu Kamalandala in the Nguni languages. Zulu means heaven or weather. At that time, the area was occupied by many large Nguni communities and clans, also called the Asiwi people or nation, or called Asimbongo, referring to their clan or family name. Nguni communities had migrated down Africa's east coast over millennia as part of the Bantu migrations. See, there we go. As the nation began to develop, the rulership of Shaka brought the clans together to build a cohesive identity for the Zulu. They said the Zulu nation's growth and strength was based on its military organization and skills during Shaka's reign and that of his successors. The military was organized around the Yukubutwas to be enrolled system, which did away with the initiation ceremonies for the most part. Each age set or group of young men of the same age was assigned to the same regiment, Abatu singular, Bawato plural, according to the system. Girls were also subject to Yugubutwa, but they were usually assigned to an age group rather than a regiment. The Ambobuto were housed in military barracks, Akanda, singular, Amakanda, plural, located throughout the kingdom and under the command of a close relative or someone appointed by the king. The barracks were designed and laid out similarly to an Omuzi, on a much larger scale. Aside from the military duties, the Izanizwa young men were also responsible for the repair and maintenance of their barracks. The Zulu formed a powerful state in 1816 under the leader Shaka. Shaka, as the Zulu commander of the Mwatwa Empire and successor to Dinajaswayayo, united what was once a confederation of tribes into an imposing empire under Zulu hegemony. Shaka built a militarized system known as Impai, featuring conscription, a standing army, new weaponry, regimentation, and encirclement battle tactics. Zulu expansion was a major factor of the Mafeking crushing that depopulated large areas of southern Africa. It is during this period when Shaka deployed an army regiment for trading tribes on the north. The regiment, which was under Mzalaki, disobeyed Shaka and crafted a plan to continue raiding up north, forming another dialect of Zulu language referred to as Northern Ndebele, now in Zimbabwe. Real quick though, if you look at these Zulu brothers right here, man, I mean, they look like some of the homies from the hood. I mean, they are straight Negroes. They look like us. They look like a couple brothers playing Indian, playing dress up, right? It's a trip, man. But I mean, there's nothing about those brothers that's Hamitic. Just kind of a real quick sidebar. All right, and Shaka Zulu. Um, it says Shaka. Let's see here. Let's see where I'm gonna start at. He was the king of the Zulu kingdom from 1816 to 1828. That's a pretty nice little run there. One of the most influential monarchs of the Zulu. He ordered wide-reaching reforms that reorganized the military into a formidable force. King Shaka was born in the lunar month of Utilagazi, July, in the year of 1787 near present-day Melmoth, KwaZulu Natal province, the son of the Zulu king, Simanjukona Kajama. Spurned as an illegitimate son, Shaka spent his childhood in his mother's settlements, where he was initiated into an Ubuntu Limpai fighting unit, serving as a warrior under Nkosi Dingaswayo. King Shaka further refined the Ubuntu military system, and with the Mtatwa Paramountcy's support over the next several years, forged alliances with his smaller neighbors to counter Nwandandwe raids of the north. Please forgive me for I don't know these African pronunciations, so I'm doing the best I can. I've never seen these names in my life, so I'm doing some kind of pronouncing them on the fly. So forgive me for kind of butchering them. The initial Zulu maneuvers were primarily defensive, as King Shaka preferred to apply pressure diplomatically with an occasional strategic assassination. King Shaka's reign coincided with the start of the Mafeking Tifakan upheaval or crushing, a period of devastating warfare and chaos in southern Africa between 1815 and about 1840 that depopulated the region. His role in the Mafeking Tifakan is highly controversial. He was ultimately assassinated by his half-brothers King Dagain and Prince Manangana. And you know what? Enough. I'm good on that. I'm off that. I need to speak on this real quick. It's like it seems like there's a pattern here. Our real strong leaders and voices. Um, it's like they die at the hands of our own people, right? And it just kind of goes to show, man. I mean, it all goes back to the curses. No man shall save you. Like, I mean, no man, and that means no man. Period. So um, let's look at some of the DNA data for the Zulus, at least back. This data is a little old, but it does show that. Let me bring it up real quick. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Like I said, this data is old, but what it does is it shows, at least for the the E1B1AY DNA haplotype. We see that the Yoruba, we know about Yoruba and tribe of Ephraim. We see the numbers at the time that this sample was taken, because it showed 92% of people carry the E1B1A, right? Or 93. Now the Zoza 54 and the Zulus says 55 at the time of this sample. Now what that tells us, logically, even at the time of this sample was taken, is that more than half of the people that they tested were Hebrew Israelite. They were E1B1A. So you have to figure, and like that number could be even higher now, because I'm pretty sure those Israelites had kids, and you know what I mean. So it just kind of goes on and on, and then they don't test everybody. They test a certain number, and this is the percentage they get out of the sample that they test. So what that logically tells us is that more than half of the Zulus are Israelites, right? And so, well, we can logically conclude that because 55 is more than 50, so you know the sample size was more than half. So we can conclude that. That's the cool thing about about these DNA tests, right? Because you have to allot for other tribes and just people having sex. It's not. I mean, you know what I mean. You have to allot for that. I mean, even African Americans, we ain't no different. There's percentages of we got some weird haplotypes in all of our nations, all of our groups. I mean, just think about it, man. There's no way we're going to mix with the world, mix with every nation, and don't have some weird haplotypes up in there. You know what I mean? So that's to be expected. But I tell you what's impressive is, and it's not on this sample size here, but the Bamileke. Um, if we go by that number, they said 100% of the Bamileke are Israelites. That's pretty impressive, man. I mean, so I don't know if they kind of migrated there and started their own thing, which that's what it sounds like they did. But if you look at them, if you Google pictures of the Bamileke, you can see, man, they look like us. They're definitely Shemites. They're definitely Israelites, no doubt about it. I can pick out a Hamite from a Shemite from an Israelite. That's no doubt. So they say 100% of the Bamileke are Israelites. So I might look into that, whatever. But anyway, that's by the numbers, by the data. At the time the sample was taken, is over half of the Zulus were Israelites. And my thing is, and that's why I said, man, when the Romans did what they did in 70 AD, man, we weren't at full strength, man. Because if we were, man, listen, man, there's no way they would have done what they did. They took advantage of. We were decimated in terms of most of us were already gone. They killed women, man, and elderly and old people and kids. You know what I mean? Because, man, let me tell you something. If we was 14 tribes strong, I guarantee you, at least this is how I feel. That so-called Roman war would have been different if we was full strength. Because I got faith in us, man. Anybody trying to see us full strength, but they went in there, man, killing kids, man, and old folk. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's that, man. I just want to do that real quick, man. On Eva the Shabbat, Shaka Zulu. He gets a lot of, he got movies about him and this and that. We needed that spirit when the Romans came up in Jerusalem, did what they did. But I guarantee you, the Shaka Zulus wasn't there. They weren't. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's that, man. Shaka Zulus, the Zulu Nation, our brothers over there, man. Shout out to them. May the Most High have mercy and keep us all wherever we are and all the nations that we're mixed into. Regardless of what, I still pray that He have mercy on us all, and that'll never stop being my prayer. All right, man. So until next time, this Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying Shalom, elect.